UC student workers and researchers walk out of classes for better pay and benefits. We take you to the picket lines.
United Against Hate Week starts today in LA County. See how one art installation is bringing hope to the city.
I'm here at Tommy Trojan, where the Trojan Knights are keeping watch over the honor of USC. Stay tuned for more. Annenberg TV News is next.
University of California teaching assistants and student researchers across the state went on strike today for better wages. Hi, I'm Jeffrey Lee.
I'm Bailey Harrison. 48,000 academic workers are expected to strike indefinitely, according to strike coordinators. There are 10 University of California campuses across the state, including UC Berkeley, UC Irvine, UC Riverside, and UC San Diego. We spoke with students and representatives of the union at UCLA.
We filed over 20 unfair labor practice charges. That's why we're out on strike today. If the university would stop breaking the law and have a serious conversation about how much it costs to live here, I'd be happy to go back to work.
I personally have to commute nearly 2 hours a day to get to campus. I have 8 a.m. sections. I live 2 hours away because it's so expensive around here.
We're here today to show that we are serious. We're serious about everything that we're fighting for, and we're going to be here until the UC stops its unfair labor practices, stops breaking the law.
Graduate students, teaching assistants, and researchers are demanding higher wages amid the crisis for affordable housing and inflation. We spoke with a union representative about how workers say the UC system has failed to show its support.
So we're taking this step in order to correct the university's unlawful behavior so that we can bargain in good faith at the table and come to an agreement that addresses the systemic inequities that currently exist in the UC system. That would be life-changing for me and my colleagues. We would be able to live with dignity, which is what every worker wants and every worker deserves.
A spokesperson for the UC president's office said, quote, "Our primary goal in these negotiations is achieving multi-year agreements that recognize these employees' important and highly valued contributions to the university's teaching and research mission with fair pay, quality health, and family-friendly benefits." The union workers are seeking a raise in their current wages from $24,000 to $54,000 a year.
University of Virginia students and community members gathered at a local church tonight for a vigil after a deadly shooting on campus. Classes were canceled today and will be canceled again tomorrow. 3 UVA football players were killed and 2 other students were injured in the shooting. The shooter opened fire on a bus returning from a field trip. The suspect is now in custody, but the UVA community is still in shock.
My heart is broken for the victims and their families and for all those who knew and loved them. They were Devin Chandler, a second year from Virginia Beach, Virginia, Lavelle Davis, a third-year student from Ridgeville, South Carolina, and Deshaun Perry, a fourth-year student from Miami, Florida.
Annenberg Media talked to a USC student from Virginia. She said, quote, "It's extremely devastating and it shakes the whole state. Being from Virginia, you kind of grow up on UVA or Virginia Tech, and everyone has friends or family at these schools. So to hear something like this and know that it directly impacts so many of the people you know and love is really hard, even from across the country." USC football coach Lincoln Riley tweeted this morning, quote, "God bless our friends at the University of Virginia at UVA football," end quote. Moving to politics, votes for the Los Angeles mayoral and county sheriff races have just been updated. Christina, how are these numbers looking?
Jeffrey, it's still a tight race between Representative Karen Bass and Rick Caruso for the next LA mayor, but new numbers that just came in show her lead is widening. According to the LA County Registrar, Bass is currently around 4 points ahead at just above 52% with nearly 355,000 votes. Caruso has just under 48% with about 326,000 votes. In the race for LA County Sheriff, former Long Beach Police Chief Robert Luna stretched his lead again. He is now ahead by 20 points over incumbent Alex Villanueva. About 60% of the votes have been cast for Luna, while just over 40% have been cast for Villanueva. In the Senate, Democrats held on to their razor-thin majority, winning close contests in Nevada and Arizona. In Georgia, no candidate won over 50% of the vote. This means Democrat Raphael Warnock and Republican Herschel Walker will face off again in a runoff election on December 6th. There is no threshold required to win in the runoff, and the result will decide just how big the Democrats' majority is. But several crucial House races are still too close to call. 19 races, 10 of which are in California, remain undecided. Republicans only need to win 6 of those to reach the 218 seats they need for House majority. Ballots are still being counted in Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado, Maine, New Mexico, New York, and Oregon. Many political pundits predicted a red wave this midterm cycle, but that didn't exactly pan out. Researchers say this 2022 election had the second highest voter turnout among voters under 30, who were crucial to the Democratic midterm wins. We spoke to the executive director of We All Vote Now on the impact of the youth vote.
It's crazy crucial, like you saw in states like Georgia, Nevada. I mean, though that was the vote that actually made those states, for Georgia go to a runoff, for Nevada actually solidify who that senator is, right? Political pundits can talk all day long, but if you're not there in community, if you're not talking to those folks who are doing the work, if you're not creating a space and room for folks to be included and to activate with you, then you probably did doubt the youth vote. But we kind of saw it coming.
It looks like winning youth votes will become increasingly important for both parties if they want to succeed in toss-up elections like this one. Bailey, Jeffrey, back to you.
Thanks, Christina. So joining us live tonight is special guest Sydney Kamlager. She is the Congress member-elect for California's 37th District, succeeding Representative Karen Bass, and formerly served as a state senator. Ms. Kamlager, thank you for joining us. So first of all, fight on. Thanks for speaking with students from your alma mater. We just wanted to start off, and we wanted to find out what kind of issues are on the highest on your list and priorities, and how do you think you're going to deal with those issues?
Well, first, Jeffrey, it's always good to be with fellow Trojans. Thank you for having me. I am currently in Washington, D.C., participating in my new member orientation. There are so many of us here from across the country who are learning what it will mean to be a congressperson, and I am incredibly honored and excited to be able to represent the 37th. I ran on a platform that really focused on saving, protecting, rebuilding democracy. We are seeing things happen in California and across the country that are really shocking. Deciding that it's okay to be a democracy defier or an election denier, suppressing voting rights, suppressing reproductive rights for women. All of those things are fights that we have to marshal with others to protect. It is equally important, and I will be continuing to talk about climate action and how we preserve Mother Earth, how we make sure that we have clean drinking water, clean air to breathe, banning our fracking, closing those oil wells, economic justice, housing affordability, student debt, eradicating poverty, and making sure that healthcare is of high quality, available, and accessible to all, and fighting for childcare. I mean, the thread of all of those platforms and policy ideas is economic justice. How do we make this country more affordable, especially for working families and young folks, and why we can do that while we protect and save our democracy.
Okay. Awesome. Those are all such important things. I just wanted to focus mainly on affordable housing. Though it was vetoed by Governor Gavin Newsom, I know you worked with the USC Keck School of Medicine on a bill to expand funding for medical care among the unhoused community. Do you still have any plans to tackle this growing issue in LA, specifically around the USC area?
Absolutely, and thank you for the question, Bailey. You are right. Governor Newsom vetoed AB 369, which was the street medicine bill that I did. And interestingly enough, even though he vetoed it with a 2-page veto message, he incorporated all of the tenets of it in the budget that got passed this year. And I actually had a great conversation with Brett Feldman, who runs the program in conjunction with USC, and just about everything that we wanted in the bill has now been incorporated through CalAIM and the budget process. So I, of course, plan to do what I can at the federal level to make sure that how we reimburse those kinds of programs is available federally for programs like what's happening at USC and other schools in the city, to make sure that providers can go out onto streets and provide medicine and care to folks who are unhoused and get reimbursed. At the end of the day, and something that USC knows, you have to meet people where they are. And if they happen to be unhoused, you have to go to them and provide the care.
We're so excited to see what you have planned and what you have in store. And we thank you so much for representing us, Senator Kamlager, and thank you again for speaking with us.
Thank you so much for having me, and fight on.
Awesome, fight on. Senator Kamlager represents the 37th Senate District, ranging from Century City to South Los Angeles, and includes areas such as Culver City, Crenshaw District, downtown Los Angeles, and the University of Southern California. Flu season is officially here and is spreading rapidly. California confirmed its first death of a child under age 5 from the flu and the virus known as RSV. The CDC has classified flu activity in California as high. Hospitals are seeing a rise in flu patients, causing an overflow in emergency rooms across the state. The agency is encouraging vaccination to stop the spread.
We also really want to stress right now, if you have not gotten your annual flu shot, to please get that now. Flu is very, very early this year. We're seeing it on campus. We're seeing it throughout LA County. We're seeing it nationally. And I am actually very concerned about a lot of influenza post-Thanksgiving as well.
If you haven't gotten your flu shot yet, CVS on Hoover Street, USC University Park Health Center, USC Pharmacy, and CVS on Figueroa are the nearest locations. You can also make an appointment online on MySHR.
Gavin Newsom's wife takes the stand in the Harvey Weinstein trial. We have the latest on the emotional testimony.
Twitter isn't the only tech giant experiencing massive layoffs. Find out what companies are downsizing.
As students go to sleep tonight, the Trojan Knights will be standing guard at Tommy Trojan and Hecuba, Queen of Troy. We're live, coming up.
Worried your friend's struggling but don't know how to reach out?
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking. You could chat on the game, kick off your flip-flops. You could ask on your couch while you binge watch. However you do it, you gotta ask a friend. And if they don't share, you can ask again. Whatever gets you talking. Whatever gets you talking.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Today marks the second day of United Against Hate Week, a week of action designed to raise awareness about the dangers of hate crimes in local communities. The next 4 days will emphasize the importance of reporting and resisting hate. The grassroots organization LA vs. Hate unveiled an installation called the Wishing Tree in downtown LA this morning. The tree symbolizes LA County's goals for a more peaceful and inclusive community.
So here we have our wishing tree where people come up and they grab one of these little tags. They write a wish that they want for the community or for anyone, for themselves, for people they know, about things to get better with discrimination, hate in the world, and hang it up in the tree. And then eventually this tree will be planted somewhere in the LA County, and hopefully people will see it and things will start to get better in our community.
Other events for the week include a Don't Hate, Liberate music festival in Santa Monica on Wednesday at 7 p.m. and a Thanksgiving basket distribution at the Sutton Recreation Center Friday morning at 10:30.
Following in the steps of Twitter and Meta, Amazon is the largest tech company planning to lay off thousands of employees. Amazon plans to lay off around 10,000 employees, the largest layoff in the company's history. Amazon has reportedly been overstaffed since doubling its workforce during the pandemic. Now it appears that the workers will be the ones suffering the consequences. We have Michaela live with our weather report. How's it looking, Michaela?
Well, Bailey, the weather is pretty average, but the atmosphere on campus is anything but. It's been pretty hectic on campus as we're preparing to leave next week for Thanksgiving break. But don't pack those jackets away just yet until you see this week's temperatures. So pulling up our current conditions right now, we're sitting at 64 degrees. Let's see if this trend will continue on to the rest of the week with our 5-day forecast. So this week is leaning on the colder side, but we're still getting a lot of sun, which help balance out the temperatures. Tuesday is going to be at 72 degrees, and then we'll start to see a rise following Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday is going to be slightly cloudy, as we can see, but Friday and Saturday are here to save the day at 72 and 73 with clear skies, so you can clearly watch the Trojans beat the Bruins. Now, I'm not going to blow off the screen just yet. We still have updates on this year's Santa Ana winds and how it might just be the strongest of the season yet. High winds are expected to run Tuesday to Thursday, and these red areas are being affected the most. Many areas of LA County should feel winds from around 35 to 55 miles per hour, while some will reach 65 to 70 miles per hour. We spoke with an expert from CAL FIRE on the potential fire risks.
While we're expecting to have those very active winds middle of this week, by next weekend, it should be dying down for minimal activity. The last couple of weeks, we've actually experienced quite a bit of rainfall, as you're aware of, and that precipitation has really aided us. So should we get any fires, it would be, we would safely say that they would be minimal.
To keep safe during the high winds, it is recommended to postpone outdoor activities. If you're caught outside, find cover next to a building or under shelter. Report any downed power lines, and if you are driving, keep both hands on the wheel and slow down.
Coming up on ATVN Sports, women's basketball starting off the season red hot and even breaking school records. Men's water polo played their final regular season match against UCLA, but did they come out on top? And even with a slow start, the Trojan football team dominated their Friday night game against Colorado. But are we ready for our crosstown rivals? We'll cover it all after the break.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay. Yeah. Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
Welcome back to ATVN Sports. I'm Dylan Brazier.
And I'm Michael Fumafredo.
The Pac-12 race is heating up as we head into Rivalry Week, with top-ranked Oregon and UCLA both losing their matchups. With Washington back in the top 25, Michael Penix Jr. made a splash against the 6th-ranked Oregon Ducks, combining for 430 yards and 2 touchdowns. Next, the Bruins were upset by Arizona. UCLA's defense could not stop the 20-point underdogs as Jaden DeLora threw for 315 yards and 2 touchdowns. Michael, with these losses, how does that affect our crosstown matchup next Saturday?
Well, this is a win-or-go-home game for USC, but the pressure is going to be on because UCLA is coming into this game angry. They just got upset on the road. They come and face a great team in this Trojans team in their home stadium. They match up well against the Trojans, and I think it'll be very reminiscent of what that Utah game was, hopefully with a different outcome, though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little worried, to be honest. I mean, according to the stats, UCLA beats us offensively and defensively, and we're going to be in the Rose Bowl, vibrant audience. I feel like it's going to be very similar to that Utah game, hopefully a different outcome.
Yep. And yesterday's AP rankings should give us a good idea where the playoff committee ranks SC tomorrow. However, some interesting outcomes could move the Trojans up a little higher than expected. SC moved up 1 spot to number 7. The top 6 did remain the same. However, TCU and LSU only winning by 1 possession could come to hurt them moving forward. But check out the rest of the Pac-12 down there with 5 teams now in the top 16 after Washington's win. Dylan, I know these rankings don't necessarily matter for the playoffs. However, is the committee going to start to consider USC a contender?
I really don't think so at this point. A few dominoes need to fall before we can get there. I mean, it's hard to put USC ahead of teams like an undefeated TCU or a 1-loss Tennessee. They have better resume as of right now, and I think it's hard to put them.
The problem is I just can't see the committee choosing a team that sits home on championship weekend over the Trojans. For that to happen, the Trojans do have to win out. However, at that point, we've said it before, they're going to have 3 ranked wins and a conference championship win, something that Tennessee or Michigan will not have.
That's true.
But that's coming out tomorrow night at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Let's see what happened last weekend for this Trojans team. They improved to 9-1 for the first time in 12 years with their 55-17 win over Colorado under the Friday Night Lights. Star receiver Jordan Addison made his return to the field. However, Travis Dye suffered a season-ending injury late in the first half. Really unfortunate to see him go, but if Austin Jones makes plays like this moving forward, the Trojans will be just fine. Plus, let's not forget that Caleb Williams added another 5-score game to his resume. And Dylan, that's now 6 straight wins for the Trojans. They'll look to make it lucky number 7 against the other LA school, 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Next up, women's basketball got their 2nd straight win, demolishing Idaho State 75-42. In their 2nd game of the season, Destiny Littleton led the Trojans with 19 points, including 5 3-pointers. She wasn't the only sharpshooter, though, with the team shooting 40% from the 3 and breaking the single-game record for threes made with 14. Not to mention their defense allowed just 42 points for the 2nd game in a row. After playing lights out in their first 2 games, the women of Troy will look to continue their win streak tomorrow as they travel to the University of San Diego.
And just a little preview of the crosstown rivalry coming next weekend. It came in the form of a grudge match between USC and UCLA water polo. The number 2 ranked Bruins won the game 14-13. Massimo Di Martire scored 4 goals in a highlight-filled game, including this goal from Jake Earhart with time winding down in the half. He would score again to put SC up by 3, but the Bruins tied it with a tip-in by Gianpiero Di Martire. And then Jake Cavano found the net with 3 seconds left, and the Bruins win the game by 1 in overtime. SC ends the season with a 15-6 record, but the MPSF tournament starts Friday when the Trojans welcome Austin College to Oitangsu Aquatic Center.
That should be a good one. Well, that's all we have here in the studio. For you, I'm going to pass it on to reporter Allie Anthony, who's live at Tommy Trojan.
Thanks, Dylan and Michael. As you all know, it is Rivalry Week here in Los Angeles. The crosstown showdown between USC and UCLA is one of the most anticipated sporting events in the city. This year, with the Pac-12 championship on the line, the stakes are higher than ever. The rivalry runs deep. It all started at the beginning of the 1941 football season when 6 Trojan Knights stole UCLA's victory bell. UCLA fans retaliated by vandalizing Tommy Trojan with paint. Hence why the Trojan Knights began keeping a careful watch over Tommy during all hours of the day during Troy Week. And right now, I am here with senior Trojan Knight Will Chambers. Will, thanks for coming out and talking to me. Tell me a little bit about what it looks like to protect Tommy during all hours of the day.
It's a lot of fun. As the official host of the university, Guardians of Tradition, it's one of the best times of the year. It's a real pleasure to come out, do this duty, make sure no Bruins mess up any of our statues.
So tell me about this. I know you sleep out here. How many nights have you slept outside of Tommy Trojan?
I've been a Knight since I was a freshman, so probably 10 to 15 times. We bundle up. It's not too terrible.
I mean, I'm freezing. I don't know how you do it. You and I are both seniors. We have seen the good days and the bad days of USC football. And right now, we're kind of in the good days. How does it feel to see students really amped up for a big rivalry game like we're going to have this weekend?
It's exciting. I mean, we all want revenge from last year. I think Caleb and the rest of the team have put together a really impressive resume. Crosstown Showdown never disappoints, and I don't think it will this year.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Will, for speaking with me.
Now, coming up for Madness Monday, people are licking frogs in Colorado. We'll have the story next.
Lávate las manos por 20 segundos como Elmo.
Hay algo especial acerca de este lugar. Se siente como un hogar, una sala debajo del cielo y los árboles. Rodeado de aire fresco y la naturaleza. Todo aquí para que lo disfrutemos y para que lo cuidemos. Tenemos la responsabilidad de cuidar de esta tierra que llamamos casa, de preservarla para las generaciones que vienen. Cada acción pequeña contribuye para un cambio mayor y cada uno de nosotros podemos hacer la diferencia. Hay algo especial acerca de este bosque. Es un lugar donde se hacen recuerdos y juntos podemos preservarla y protegerla.
Today, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, the wife of Governor Gavin Newsom, testified at Harvey Weinstein's sexual assault trial. Newsom told the court how Weinstein exploited their power imbalance when she was a young actress in the Hollywood industry. Under the guise of advising her, he invited Newsom to a hotel where he allegedly assaulted and raped her. Weinstein continues to deny ever engaging in non-consensual sex.
Google reacts after being accused of secretly tracking its users, and Colorado is feeling trippy with its psychedelic mushrooms. There's a whole ton of Monday Madness for tonight. Google agreed to pay nearly $392 million in a settlement with 40 states after allegedly following people through their devices after the company turned location tracking off. After Tuesday's midterm election, Colorado has become the second state in the country to legalize the use of psychedelic compounds and magic mushrooms. And refrain from licking unfamiliar things, especially if they have glowing eyes. That's a warning from the National Park Service. The agency says park visitors are heading to the ER after consuming toxins from the Colorado River toad.
Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Jeffrey Lee.
And I'm Bailey Harrison. For more coverage, watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel.